This AI tracker helped me scale my ads past 10,000 a month and cash collect over 130,000 in the past 30 days. So I'll show you how you can use it to scale your ads profitably and hit the next level. So this is the Hyros platform. It has a lot of functions to it. I'll walk you through some of my favorite ones, but overall, the goal here is to get better information inside of your marketing to know what's working well, to double down on it, and what's not working so well so you can refocus your attention. So overall in Hyros, we're gonna have a lot of different data, okay? So the purpose here is to be more of a scientist when it comes time to run our business. We can either guesstimate what's working and just try to figure it out that way, or we can listen to the market that's giving us results and we can double down on the KPIs that are working the best. All right, so this is basically the goal right here, is to look at our numbers, get a better idea, and then reinforcing the best outcomes. So at the very top here, we have the dashboard. So inside of the dashboard, I have all my overall KPIs. So how much money did we spend over the 30-day period? How much cash collected did we make? What's the profit of cash collected minus cost? The return on investment, and the ROAS. So ROAS meaning return on ad spend. So every dollar I put into this machine, I get almost $10 back. And that's within 30 days. And then below here, I have a cost analysis showing me how much cost per click, cost per lead, cost per call, cost per sale, and the conversion analysis. So how many leads turned into calls and sales. So the great thing here is that I can kind of use this as a top-down analysis inside of my funnel. So at the very top of funnel, how much does it cost me to get people into my system? Middle of funnel, how many leads are converting to booked calls? And finally, cost per sale is how many of those calls are turning into closed deals. So depending on what KPIs are weaker, that would be the most important thing to focus on so I can strengthen my funnel. I can also look at this conversion analysis to see, okay, how many leads are converting to calls? What's the percentage or KPI that I'm looking for? If it's below that, I need to improve that, because if I can just increase this number perhaps by 50%, that'll drastically increase sales. So that's how I have this set up right here. So again, very interesting because I can have this connected to not only Meta in my ads, but if I'm running ads on other platforms as well, like on TikTok or on YouTube, you can also attach it here and have an all-in-one spot. You can also attach organic sources as well, which I'll be showing you right here. So I can see basically what did my funnel produce in sales related to the traffic source that it came from. So I have it set up as a last click, meaning that someone might have came into my ecosystem from an ad, from organic, from a YouTube video, but what's the last thing that drove them to booking that call and ultimately closing the deal? So that's why I have the last click attribution right here, so I can see that about half of our revenue is attributed to organic. So I should definitely continue doing organic, right? And so although people might be finding me through ads, which we do a lot of top of funnel ad spend, but organic has been doing a lot of the conversion for us. So I can also see that our paid ads, in a lot of cases, people do see us on that first ad. They click through some of our content perhaps, or some of our free downloads and book right away. So we attribute that to the ad if it's very fast, basically. So a lot of people see the ad and book right away. Some people tend to go through the funnel a little bit slower and then book a call ultimately. So I actually have some metrics to see how long on average it takes for someone to get into the funnel and close a deal. But really cool to see that we have a pretty even balance of paid converting right away or organic conversion throughout the funnel. I can also get more in-depth view as well if I want it to be source specific on YouTube, on school, on IG, or on email. So a really cool factor right there. Like I said, if you're just running ads on Meta, but you are running content on different platforms, you wouldn't really have a good way to track the content unless you had some kind of an AI tracker, just like Hyros. And then specifically, I can see which ads are performing the best. So which ones are giving me the most amount of leads, cost per lead, how many calls, cost per call, cost per sale. Okay, so we tend to have most of our ad budget top of funnel. About 90% of my ad spend is top of funnel right now, and then 10% is for the retargeting. And so if we're thinking about how long it takes to convert someone, we can see that basically a lot of it happens. In this case, the biggest jump is going to be right around here. So around the day 18 is when most people end up closing. Okay, so sometimes some people get in a little bit longer or slower, but the biggest percentage ends up happening at the 18-day mark. So that's what I can optimize for. I understand that my sales cycle is about 18 days. So that's why in this case, I'll probably see a lot of retargeting ads working, as to why I'm seeing a lot of organic converting the deals for us as well. But it's an interesting metric to kind of study. And then we have the organic pieces as well. So here I can see exactly what are the content pieces, or what are the emails, or what are the actual school posts that are driving results as well. So I can see my call sequence, for example. That's when someone opts in for something. After 5 days, they get fed into our call sequence, and that has been booking calls and closing deals. The free course, that's when someone opts in for school. We send them 5 days of emails. So that has been converting from us, and then they feed into the call sequence. New sequence, so that's a YouTube video we just dropped, and so then I can see that our data point YouTube videos are converting well, right? But also some other system ones. So that's what's so interesting with the Hyros platform, is that I'm tracking everything. I'm seeing what ads are doing really well, because Meta doesn't always track the ads correctly. I'm seeing what organic sources are working really well. So in this case, I can see that email's doing really well. Let's make sure that that's going to stay on top of it. I also have some sequence videos on YouTube that are also typically converting well for us. So now I can double down on those, basically. And then we also have like a live stream feature. So we just got some payments this morning. And then we also have like some Hyros insights. So I sometimes look at that, but not all the time. So that's the overall dashboard. You can really play with it. There's a lot of different widgets you can attach and kind of have fun with it and play with it. But really cool way to kind of see really quickly what's happening inside of your business. Not only paid, but also organic. So now I know exactly what to do and focus on to get better results. But that's just one of the features right here. Then we have a couple different tabs on the left. So if we go over to the sales data, I'll be walking you through that right now. We have the reporting tab as well. So these are my favorite ones. So if you were to click on sales data, it would open up something like this, and you can see all the calls that are getting booked. You can see all the leads that are coming in, and also the sales. So if I was to open up the call booking tab, I can see basically how many calls we're booking every single day, and then where are they coming from. So origin source, this is like the first click that got them into your world, okay? Because it can track the IP location of your device without getting too complicated about it. So I can see that, for example, some of our new YouTube videos did really well. Some of our ads are still cranking, right? And then the last source. So if I'm seeing the same one, they probably just clicked on it and booked a call right away, right? But it's not always the case. This person, for example, came in from one ad and then booked from another ad. This person came in from YouTube, but then booked a call from my school group, right? This person came in from an ad and then booked a call from my email, right? So it's really interesting to kind of see what's working and then how to double down on those. But then when someone does book a call, or actually even closes a deal, you get to see the entire client journey. This might be my favorite thing about Hyros, because here I can see exactly what got them to the sale. So this person, for example, he came in from my Instagram bio, and then he downloaded our free asset, which we call the vaults. Then he booked a call, and then he closed. Okay, but from the very first time he opted in or clicked from my organic bio link in Instagram, he ended up buying 2 days later. Okay, so that's why I said in some cases people convert a little bit slower, some convert a little bit faster. So, but inside of the way that my funnel is set up, it's kind of like that trust funnel, in which it can go very fast, but it can also work long term as well. Because I have some people, just recently a client signed up, she opted in for something 3 years ago and just recently bought. Okay, so it kind of compounds on its own, which is really cool. Here's another example right here. So if we're going bottom to top, so this person came in from a YouTube video. Okay, and then they opted in for my free school group. Then they clicked on a different YouTube video, and then they clicked inside of the school group. They downloaded my free vaults. They clicked on another YouTube, a couple more free school group clicks. They downloaded my credit AI, back into school, another free download, booked a call. I guess they canceled, booked again, canceled, and then booked one more time, and then finally closed the deal. So as we can see here, this person, over the span of from October 12 to October 20, like did a lot, right? So because we have so many things inside of the funnel, we can really accelerate the know, like, and trust. But really cool to see that this person basically came into school started downloading a lot of different things, kind of raising what we call like a lead score, which means that the more they interact with our funnel and our systems, the higher we rank them because they're probably a hotter lead. And so he kind of warmed himself up, right? So he's clicking around and downloading a lot of things. So that's also something that's really cool about Hyros, because I can track all these different clicks and what he's doing and what is driving this outcome, right? That's another example. And we have this one. So this person came in from, again, my Instagram bio, and then clicked on an ad, and then downloaded school as well. And then from within school, they clicked on the school link to then download the vaults, booked a call, canceled call, then probably thought about us and then looked us up on Google and clicked on the websites, went back inside of school, downloaded Credit AI, booked a call, and then closed the deal. All right, so pretty interesting. This one happened over September 14 to October 14. So again, sometimes it happens a little bit slower, right? That's about 30 days right there. So something else I really like about the school platform is if you set it up correctly, now you can track the entire client journey. So it's a little bit complex to set up what are called UTM parameters across everything. It is something that I help my clients inside of Credit Coach Academy do. So if you do want our help setting up this AI tracker, we do that inside of my Credit Coach Academy program. You can learn more about that by clicking on the link down below. But this is how the client journey works. And then the final factor right here is going to be the reports tab. Okay, so there's a lot of things we can do inside of the report. So I actually just wanted to kind of put it together with you. So this helps you kind of triangulate and find the information that you're kind of looking for. So my favorite way to use it is going to be scientific measurement. So basically, I kind of talked about the last click. You can also focus on the first click. So basically, we're going to get a report showing us how many leads did we get, how many calls, how many sales, how much revenue did we cash collect, and you can attribute that to the first click. So what was the very first source that got them into the system? And so we're going to say that that is what drove it. And so then I can get the entire report based on that. The last click is going to be if someone got into our world, whatever it is, but the last thing that drove them to take an action. So most people tend to use the last click in a lot of ways because that's what's actually got the outcome that we're looking for. I like to use scientific. And so scientific basically means that if it happens fast, if they come into our world and then book a call and close a deal within a certain time period, we'll set it and attribute it to the first click. But if it takes a little bit longer past our determined time, then we will attribute it to the last click. So let's say, for example, if you only do first clicks, but someone came in and it took a year for them to rebook, right? Well, doesn't really make sense. If it's only last clicks, well, then in some cases, if someone goes really fast and they found you through an ad, I like to still say the ad probably did the work if they just booked right away, but they ended up going on my YouTube for a quick second, right? So we have to use scientific, which means it's kind of the balance. If it's very fast, so I set it to 5 days. If it's within 5 days, I'll set it and assign it to the very first click, meaning that if they first found me on YouTube, came into my world, but then downloaded my school group, went through school, and then booked a call, but it all happened within 5 days, it's going to be assigned to that first YouTube video. That's what drove the sale. But if it's over 5 days, let's say they saw an ad and then they opted in for one of my free downloads, then they consumed the free download, then they started getting emails, and after 10 days of emails, then they finally booked a call, I'll assign it to the emails, basically. So I set it to 5 days, but you can do it for 1 day, 10 days, or more. Okay, so we'll do 5 days. Here you can also determine how you want to organize it, but we'll just keep that straightforward. We can pick the dates right here, so we'll just do from September. Okay, so we'll do September numbers, and then you can also get a little bit more specific. So include no source sales, optimized report. I like to do all sources, not just organic and paid, right? You can start to do even more just by going through the advanced features right here, but just to keep it simple, I'm just going to go ahead and generate the report. And then once we have the report, now we can see exactly everything that happened over that time period. So now I can see that the total cash collected was 130. The cost was about $13,000. So here I can see exactly where everything came from. So for example, total revenue was about, for Meta, about $30,000 or $40,000. YouTube drove a couple sales, some revenue right there, email and school. So no source data probably means that I need to go back and assign. So if someone basically books a call with one email, but then pays through a different email, you have to attach it. So that's probably something that we need to maybe fix right there. But overall, we have the ads platform driving it, the organic sources driving it. And then if I actually open this up, like for YouTube, for example, now I can see, okay, which YouTube videos actually got us calls, got us sales, right? If you're inside of the meta, now I can open it up based on the campaigns, on what we're actually running right now. So it's a really cool feature overall. So it is somewhat complicated to set up as to why. Hopefully you have like a good person involved on your team that can help you, or if you just spend some time on YouTube, I'm sure you can figure it out. If you do want to work with us to put this together, it's exactly what we do inside of Credit Coach Academy. We help funding coaches scale to the next level. So if you are interested in working with us, you can click on the link down below. We would help you with creating new ads, helping you set up your content to get better results, to drive more conversions. We would help you actually get better results for your clients as well. So we do a lot inside of Credit Coach Academy. If you are curious about that, click on the link down below. But hopefully this video gives you some ideas as to how you can start to think of your business as a scientist that collects data from the market, which you can then use to refocus your energy and your attention on the most important factors inside of your business. So thanks so much for watching. If you do have additional questions, you can comment down below. But thanks for spending some time with me here today. I'll see you in the next video.